and we are all, as a country, to be honest, and you know this, assessing your credibility, right? Because you're saying really important, really interesting things that we should all consider. So now they've said that you talked to Nick Fuentes at some point, and you had somebody from the Proud Boys as part of your campaign when you ran for office. I've seen character assassination after character assassination. So that's why I'm not gonna assume anything, I'm gonna ask you. So did that stuff happen? And should that affect the way that we see your credibility?
In terms of Fuentes, I mean, that's pretty well documented. I spoke with Fuentes once, I think in 21, when I really didn't know who he was. And then he did what Fuentes does. He comes out and says some crazy, basically makes people say, hey, I don't want anything to do with that guy, which I did. Same story that happened with MTG and Rep Gosar and some others. So yeah, that's the saga of me and Nick Fuentes. The Proud Boy thing, like I had people who worked on my campaign when I was running for Congress, like as door knockers, et cetera. And there was an accusation that one of them was a Proud Boy. I never saw any like actual substance to it whatsoever. So I mean, that's for those two.
Yeah,
I was also accused of being a Bernie Sanders supporter as well. So you kind of, depending on who you're running against and what you're saying, you either get called like a crazy leftist or a crazy rightist. I think there was an ad I have somewhere where I'm called a Bernie bro and like a Nick Fuentes supporter, like all in the same like ad.
And it makes sense because when the establishment comes for you, they don't really care if you're on the left or the right. They despise all outsiders. So, and I've had them smear me 200 times. So you're kind of getting off light here for a second. So look, Fuentes hates you now, so that part is clear. So, and I want people to know that, and so he does not speak kindly of you. So that's a bit of a badge of honor. And I mean, when you come out like this, you should be. Anyway, I don't track his show, but that's what I know from last time that I looked into that topic. But as far as the Proud Boys guys, so you never had a conversation like, hey, how do we help the Proud Boys and secretly get the Proud Boys in the government? You didn't even know that guy was a Proud Boy?
No, and I don't even know if he was. He had like if I'm remembering correctly, he had like an ex-girlfriend that accused him of being a Proud Boy, and it like made its way into a police report, but he was never charged. It was like, I don't know. It was reaching in terms of just a standard campaign attack ad.
Yeah, and so for people who are not familiar with the lies of mainstream media, the New York Times, for example, said that I was anti-Muslim and never mentioned that I grew up Muslim. So they also said that I brought on David Duke and agreed with him that he was not racist, when in fact, in the interview, I called him racist and anti-Semitic and bigoted and dumb several times. So yes, sometimes people at the New York Times flat out lie, and they almost never do it to someone in power. They almost always do it to people outside of power. And if they're challenging the powerful, they have a super curious way of doing it. We can't see it with our bare eyes. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.